Hello and welcome. I am Matt Roddy, and this is the Greater Prescott podcast, where we talk about, you guessed it, all things Greater Prescott. Today, I want to welcome my guest, Tesia Hurt, with Beautiful You Spray Tan.
Yes.
Did I get it right?
You got it right on.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
You said you're just a little nervous, but...
A little nervous?
But I know by a little bit of your background that you'll get settled in about 30 seconds, and it's a done deal.
A theatrical background will help, I hope.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me. One of the fun parts of the podcast is when I do a previous podcast, I always ask them, if you know of anyone who is interested that you think would benefit from the podcast, let me know.
I will do that.
Well, that's how I came across you.
That's right.
From Kel over at the Copper's Maine.
Yes.
And
yes,
so
she's a client of mine.
Well, there you go. I have no idea how you know her.
Yeah.
And so it's fun to just connect with people that way. And
That's
all
how
of
this
a
town
sudden,
works.
like I'm literally booked for months in a sense. Like I have so many people now that
That's fantastic.
it's awesome. It's great. So I love it.
It's a great way to learn about what's around us, even if you're a native, like myself. There were things on the podcast that I hadn't heard of, or places I hadn't heard of, and so it's cool.
That's the goal.
Yes.
Awesome. So let's just dive right in.
Okay.
Where were you born and raised? What did you do as a kid? And kick it off, and let's start chatting.
Awesome. So I was born and raised here in Prescott. I'm a native. I was born at YRMC, not the Prescott Valley one. There wasn't a Prescott Valley one when I was born.
Okay.
So I was born here, my mom was born here, and my daughter was born here.
Okay.
So 3 generations, we were all born at YRMC.
Yeah.
Even Madison, my daughter, was born in the Prescott Hospital.
Man.
So,
How did your mother end up here?
So my mom was born and raised here.
Yeah.
My grandparents came from Ohio.
Okay.
And, she's one of 6. So she had 5 brothers. And so they were just here. And my mom just recently moved. She's been here almost all of her life.
Yeah.
And so when we decided, my husband joined the military and we moved away, we knew that we wanted to come back here to raise our children.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That is so neat.
It is.
I bet was it hard for your mom to leave?
It was.
I'm sure there's circumstances and
For sure. It was for my dad's job.
Okay. There you go.
It typically is, right? But it was hard for her. This is her home.
Yes.
This is, when you have the roots here.
Man.
This is where, my husband's whole family is here. My husband was even born at YRMC.
Oh, my goodness.
So we were all, my son is
Some
the only one that was
roots.
born in another state.
Yeah. Because you were in the military, right?
We were.
There you go.
Yep.
I would love to get someone like your mom on the podcast who's literally seen decades of Prescott, of just this area. And I've been here 2.5 years.
Right.
So I know of essentially no change except growth in a sense.
Sure.
And
Apartment
so
complexes.
It's
Right.
just interesting. Yeah, I'd love to just what was it like back in the day? And,
For sure.
Because it's going to be that this road was dirt and we had just this store. And it just...
Well, just when we
so much
left
different.
for just a few years and came back, I thought, oh my goodness, this town has, erupted.
Yeah.
So it's neat to be here for, 26 years and leave for a few years and come back and then start just settling right back in.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What part of town did you live in when you were growing up?
I was born here, but I was raised in Prescott Valley.
Okay.
I, graduated from Bradshaw Mountain.
You're allowed to.
I'm allowed to.
Yeah. Okay. So where were you when you were out there?
I don't know if you can. I don't think they have like a downtown area or anything like that. I was just in Prescott Valley.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of the heart of Prescott Valley.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So I was there. I went to elementary school out there.
Yep.
I went to Mountain Valley. And then I went to Liberty.
Yep.
As a kid. And so when we moved back, I just plopped her in Liberty because I was like, well, I know that place. I know she's going to be there.
Yeah.
And then we ended up moving to Prescott.
Okay.
So, but I went to Liberty and then Bradshaw, and I was a graduate of 2002.
Yep. And I was 01.
And see? We're only a year apart.
Yeah.
But
what kind of work did your father do?
So my
And
dad
does he
was
do?
Well, he has an amazing job now. He was a government contractor for the military. That contract ran out, and then now he is with another company.
Okay.
So he flies unmanned aircraft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
So it's
probably
really...
can't tell you too much about it.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, is it kind of one of those things?
If I tell you, I have to kill you.
Yeah. Oh, man. Sorry. I'm not going to let her tell me, guys.
So, no, that's off limits.
Oh, that's neat.
But when my husband was in the military, he would not go outside. In the military, we call it outside of the wire.
Yeah.
He would not leave a base unless he knew that the unmanned aircraft had left, checked where they were going, and coming back.
Gotcha.
And my parents owned Valley Hobby Shop in Prescott Valley.
Oh.
My dad has always been into RC, always been into aircraft. It's always been a part of the family. And so when Nick came back from his tour in Afghanistan, he told my dad, he's like, you have to look this up.
Okay.
Like, you have to look into this. This is right up your alley.
Yeah.
And so he
sure
now gets to fly for a living. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Where did they move to?
Maryland.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
It's
wow.
Maryland. It took them 4 days to get there.
Oh, it's...
Drove 4 days with a U-Haul and pulling the car.
Yeah. But, hey.
Good
for him.
Yes. Oh, no, he's so happy. I don't know about my mom. She hated leaving Prescott.
It's a challenge.
But our roots are here. My dad went to Embry-Riddle. Wow. My brother went to Embry-Riddle.
Yeah.
I mean, the roots are Prescott-based.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So I was really into RC cars. Nothing flying, just everything on the ground. But man, I had a really nice one, and I don't know if that's the type of stuff your father would have sold. Like this was like hundreds and hundreds of dollars of putting all the different pieces together, and you could change shocks and man, we built.
Do you have an E-Max or a T-Max or
not a T-Max yet, maybe a Team Associated. That rings a bell.
Oh yeah,
anyways,
for sure.
Like we did.
Yeah.
My parents hooked me up with some good stuff.
That's pretty awesome.
It was a game changer, man. I cannot wait to get Wyatt into that. The stuff because like for Christmas, my mom just got him just this rinky dink thing, from Target. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Wyatt, but this just
I'm gonna
isn't
have to show you how.
Yes.
What really
We're
is available.
You some real stuff.
Yes. If Wyatt wants to come and play with the E-Max, we have one. It's the shocks.
They're game changer.
They're so fun.
They're so fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you spend time on the lakes growing up? Have you done much of the... I picture you as being someone who's done a lot of the Prescott stuff.
Sure.
Going lakes, camping, hiking.
Sure.
Did you do those things growing up?
I honestly didn't do a ton of that until I married my husband. Yeah. He's a super outdoorsy, loves to fish, we have a razor, just very outdoorsy. Mm-hmm. But when we were growing up, we flew. We flew RC airplanes. We raced RC airplanes. Yeah. It was that was the family thing that we did. We traveled. Mm-hmm. We've been to California and that sort of thing. Flying,
Yeah.
It was weekends full of, we were all together as a family.
Yep.
And that's really what mattered. So,
amen.
Yep, we were together, and then my brother flies full scale. Aeronautics is just almost the foundation of our family.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your dad's degree from Embry-Riddle?
So this is the sad thing. He was only a few credits short.
Gotcha. So what was he going for? What's...
I believe it was probably aeronautical science.
Okay, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my brother just graduated a couple years ago from Embry-Riddle with an aeronautical degree.
Yeah.
So
okay.
It's in the family. And then when Nick and I started dating, it was his way in. So he started flying, and then we were all just together.
If he doesn't fly, he's not in.
Right? Come on. And then all of a sudden, anyone that has played video games has that hand-eye coordination. Yep. And, Nick, my husband, just picked up the remote and the transmitter and just flew. And my kids are the same way because they've, done the video game stuff or even the computer. When you're moving the arrows, it's that eye-hand coordination. Yeah.
Yes.
Is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
So, it was just always, when my parents left, they left an airplane for my son, for Trevor. And Nick said, I can take you out, but he goes, I'd really rather do it with Papa. And I was like, my dad was the blankie for everybody, and so it's just something special that we do.
Yeah. Yeah. That is, what awesome stories. I'm going to talk for a minute so you can grab some coffee or water.
Cool, thanks.
One of the cool things, or one of the things that Emily and I have tried, or really talked about, is it does not necessarily matter what the activity is. And let's just take flying remote control airplanes as the example. If it means that you guys can do it as a family, I feel like that's the end result, is just to keep the family together doing things.
I couldn't agree more.
We live in such a unique time where you could literally have every kid doing something different.
So true.
Each parent could be doing something different. And fast forward 15 years when the kids are out of high school, you're like,
what do we do?
We didn't spend like any time. We were always busy, but not necessarily together. So it's been a conversation that Emily and I have had. Like,
Absolutely.
How do we get our kids' experiences while at the same time not going in a million different ways?
Just recently, we have decided to purchase a camper. And when Madison was little, her and Nick would go on dates. And they would look at campers, and she'd pretend, and she just loved it. And I realized when we were discussing about getting a camper, this is something that we can make memories with. She's almost 14. Trevor's 8. And it's something we all enjoy. We can take our pets. We can go out. I mean, and Prescott has. You could go an hour and you could go 15 minutes up Copper Basin and be ready to rock and roll for a weekend. And so, my husband was like, I think we should do this. And I thought, I want to be with them. And in the world that we're living in right now, it's chaos. So why not go back to being together?
Right.
Just all under one roof, having fun, shooting the bows, or just playing in the dirt. When I see the little kids out camping, they're just filthy, and it's like they're having a blast.
They're in heaven.
It's
hilarious that that's all so many kids need.
It doesn't matter.
Give
some
them dirt, some rocks,
a couple sticks. They're ready to go. So
good.
Yeah, Prescott is just amazing for things like that. So we don't have to go far.
We don't.
To spend time and make memories with our families.
Yeah. Good.
It's pretty amazing.
Good job to pull the trigger, so to speak.
Yeah.
And
it'll be fun. It will be fun. Yeah. It's a lot, but
it is a lot.
Bringing everything in, hauling everything out, but it's worth it.
It is.
It's 100% worth it.
Yeah, the times that we've taken the kids camping, the kids do no work. You know the drill. They don't load the camper. They don't do anything.
Right. No, for sure.
And so mom and dad spend all this time. A lot of prep. The whole week and after the fact.
So worth it.
And we always get home and like, are we going to do this again? It's so much work. And then for the next month, the kids can't stop talking about it. And you're like, oh yeah, that's why we do it.
Exactly.
That's why we do it.
Exactly. Nope. It's great.
Being a parent.
Right?
It's great.
For sure.
So let's keep moving forward. So you graduate Bradshaw Mountain. At some point, you're going to meet Nick. I don't think it was that long after
this is a crazy. So Nick and I actually have a very, very, very crazy, amazing love story, because his family and my family are both natives.
Okay.
My mom and his aunt were best friends in high school. So that was like the start. And Nick's mom, my mother-in-law, and my mom were pregnant at the same time.
Okay.
We're only 3 months apart. And I think my mom said we were maybe 6 months.
Okay.
And his aunt had Nick on one side and me on the other. And she said, wouldn't that be funny if one day they got married? And then, life happens.
Of course.
And, my mother-in-law moved away, and then, they came back. And, my mom did student teaching in New Mexico and then came back. So with all of the things that happened, we even went to Bradshaw together. But I never knew him.
Okay.
We had a pretty big graduating class.
Yeah.
But our interests were so different.
Mm-hmm.
I was a theater major. Like, I was going to be an actress.
Yeah.
For anything. And he was into BMX bikes and all of that. So it was just a very different.
Obviously.
He had never been to a football game. I know. And I was at every single one.
Who is that guy?
I was a football stat girl in high school.
Yeah.
So it was later on, he got a job at Galpin Ford working for my dad. And my dad hired him and said, do you know my daughter? He goes, I don't. And so he worked for my dad for a couple of years. my mom ran into him at a funeral, and she was like, "You don't know Tesia?" Like, I mean, you don't know Tesia?
Yeah, come on,
Nick. And he said, "No, I don't know her." And a couple years into it, I was at the hobby shop, and he came in to buy an RC car.
Mm.
And he was like, "Are you
Yeah.
Tony's daughter?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it took like a month. He called and asked me to go to Dairy Queen with him in Prescott Valley, because that's the hobby shop was right over there. And I was like, "Woo, do I want to?" And then after that, we were just like inseparable.
Awesome.
And we got married a year later.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was. It's a fun love story.
Absolutely.
I mean, there was destiny built into that for sure.
Man.
From the very beginning.
That is.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Super cool. Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
What year did you guys get married?
We got married in 2007.
Okay.
No, 2005. Madison was born in 07.
Gotcha.
We were married in 05. We had our daughter in 07. And then he went into the military in 09.
Okay.
So,
real quick, did you go to college? Did he?
So he did a mechanics deal at Yavapai.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then he went to Phoenix and did some schooling there.
Okay.
I guess with a program that my dad had that he was into at Galpin. And I went to Yavapai for a couple semesters. Yeah. Just honestly, college just wasn't my thing.
I wish I wouldn't have gone.
Really?
Back. Oh yeah. It just wasn't for me.
See, that's the thing. And I even tell my daughter, she's like, "I don't know if I want," and I said, "Madison, you make that decision later on down the road. Like, you don't have to make it right now." Mm-hmm. But I would never tell her she had to go. Yeah. Because it just was, and it was a waste of money for my dad and my mom. You know, you go, and then I was like, "I don't really want to do this," and I'd pull out like after you can't get your money back.
Right.
So,
yeah.
You know, but it wasn't my thing.
Yep.
And then in the military, my husband got an associate's in law enforcement. So
okay.
He has a couple things under his belt. Yeah.
What was he doing at Galpin?
He was a diesel mechanic.
Okay.
Yep. He was a diesel mechanic. So, unfortunately, with mechanics, like sometimes the money's really, really good, and sometimes it's not. And he always wanted to be a police officer. And that, when he decided he wanted to be a police officer, was when they put a hiring freeze on the sheriff's department, on the police department, all over the place. Okay. So he said,
around that mid-2000s time
exactly.
at some point in there.
Yep.
Okay.
And so then he decided, like, I want to join the Air Force.
Okay.
I want to join, the Army had like 12 to 15 month deployments. And we knew that it was inevitable. If you're going to, we're at war. Mm-hmm. So, when we're overseas and you're going to join the military, it's inevitable. At some point, something's going to come up. So Madison was 3 when he deployed. Okay. And so I was a single mom for a little bit.
Real quick,
tough.
What branch of military?
He was Air Force.
He was Air Force.
Yep, he joined the Air Force.
In 07?
No, 09. So
09.
Madison was 2, and he deployed after she turned 3.
Where did you guys move to? What were some of those steps?
Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Oh, and I just love the Springs. You know what? It was so funny because I felt like the Lord put us in the Springs because it was a glorified Prescott.
Gotcha.
It was a much bigger town.
Of course.
But it was like the weather was very similar. I mean, it had a little bit more snow.
Of course.
But the weather was similar. Yeah. We had trees. The Red Rocks in Manitou are just like Sedona. It was just like you saw all of these similar things that it as a young woman, to leave everything she knew in Prescott, I was able to kind of, relate to the Springs. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Love the Springs. And then that's the only place besides we actually were stationed at Luke for a little while.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he has done law enforcement his whole military career.
Okay, so that's what he put in for in a sense?
Yeah. Nope. He wanted to be a police officer.
Okay.
That was his drive. I want to be a police officer.
And so the Air Force, in a sense, I guess, was in need, maybe. They would bring you on for military police.
Always.
Okay.
Always. Because then when they're deployed, they basically are your infantry of the Air Force.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. How many years did he do?
He did almost 8.
Wow.
Yeah. So he signed for 6.
Nick, thank you for your service.
Oh, it's his pleasure.
Great.
He's still it gives me chills when people thank him for his service.
Mhm.
And he's like, it's my pleasure.
I
It's something that he just did. And he found
Yep.
purpose in it.
Of course.
What he did was,
That's the fun part. It's kind of almost if you're simply, let's just call it a server at a restaurant, and this is what you do.
Done that too.
For right now, it's something you like. Like, thank you for serving me. I genuinely appreciate it. And they say the same thing. Hey, I'm glad I can do it.
I loved being a server.
Yep.
Fast pace, on your toes, multitasking.
Yeah.
Making the money. It was good.
So you guys lived primarily in Colorado Springs?
Yep. So we did most of our enlistment there.
Yes. Man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was amazing.
What a blessing.
It was amazing. And it was a 12, 13-hour drive.
Yeah. I mean,
can still
all
do it
things
one day.
Considered, you're
Right?
a stone's throw.
So it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that if I were to ever go anywhere, I'd go back to Colorado.
Colorado's stunning. We just booked a summer trip to Purgatory.
Did you?
It's stunning.
I think my most favorite place in Colorado is Ouray.
Okay.
It's like what do they say? It's the Switzerland of the states.
Yeah.
So if you ever get a chance, that's
awesome.
the way to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So Madison was born prior to enlisting,
which was rough.
Then you guys moved to Colorado. You had started. I interrupted you.
Oh, you're fine.
Nick deployed.
He did.
For how long?
9 months.
Okay.
Yep, 9 months he was gone, and so because my family base is here, and so is his. I loaded up that van and a 6x12 trailer and loaded up my dogs and the kids the kid, Madison, and drove home.
Okay.
We owned a home in Chino.
Yeah.
So we were only in Colorado for 6 months when he had to do pre-deployment training.
Okay.
So we had the home here, and then so Madison and I came home and stayed there so we could do like family dinners and all of the things. Christmas. Yeah. I mean, he deployed during the summer.
Yeah.
So it was good to be home, and then when he came back, we headed back.
Yep. Okay.
And that's when we got pregnant with Trevor.
Okay.
Yep.
And how many children?
We have 2.
All right.
A boy and a girl.
Madison and Trevor.
Madison and Trevor.
All right.
They're great kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really great kids. I've been very, very, very blessed with 2. I mean, even teenager.
Yeah.
Just a good kid.
Yeah,
just a good kid. I hope that I'm doing something right.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Where does she go to school?
She goes to Trinity. Both of them go to Trinity Christian.
Awesome.
Madison, when we moved back, she was in 4th grade. And wherever Nick went, she wanted to be with him.
Okay.
And I said, we were at a great school in Surprise. Legacy is where we're at, Legacy Traditional. And I said, Madison, this is a great school. We'll see Dad on the weekend. Like, let's.
Yep.
And she did not want to stick out the rest of the year anywhere.
Okay.
So by 4th grade, she had been into like 6 different schools. And when a friend of ours was telling us about Trinity, I just wanted somewhere that she could lay down roots, like I have.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I was here through high school, and I wanted somewhere. So 4th grade came around. We got in. We've been super fortunate with scholarships, and she's been there ever since. And she's in 8th grade. Man. So, and then Trevor is now in 2nd grade and has been there since kindergarten. It's a close-knit school that I get to sub sometimes. Yeah. So on Monday and Tuesdays when I'm not at the salon, I can go and help out at the school.
We have everything good to say about Trinity.
They're
love
great.
it. Would recommend anyone send their kids there.
We love it there.
Well, I'm glad Madison has that, 3 or 4 or 5 years of just consistency.
Yep.
Really simple.
And she's super easygoing and very, very resilient. I mean, kids I think are resilient in general.
They are.
But I don't think Trevor could have as much change in his life that she does or has had and be okay with it.
Makes sense.
And she's just like, oh, sorry, we're not going there. All right.
Yeah.
And Trevor's like, I wanted to go there today. So, she really is. It's taught her a lot. She's extremely patriotic.
Okay.
On base, when you hear that national anthem, you stop what you're doing. You put your hand over your heart. You face that speaker or the flag, whatever you can find first. And she was like 4 and finding the speaker and putting her hand over her heart and just she has a real love for this country.
Good.
Yeah. So.
Good job, Mom and Dad.
Thanks.
Yeah. How many years were you in Surprise?
We were only there for 2.
A short stint.
So my husband extended actually to get to Luke.
Okay.
I had a cancer diagnosis. So what we did was we were taking our 1-year-old son to oncology appointments. And so we put in a request, hardship orders, to get as close as we could to the family, which was...
Gotcha, Prescott.
Yeah,
okay.
which was Luke. So
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Man.
Yeah.
Almost 8 years.
Yeah.
Does it seem like a blur when you look back?
It really...
Because 8 years is not that long in the scheme of things, but when you're in it, it's a long time.
It is. It is. And you know what? We grew so much as people and learned so much about ourselves that I think when we were here and we were just really depending on, I mean, he worked for my dad, I worked for my mom,
Of course.
you know,
see
all
your
of these
family
things.
all the time.
We all went to the same church. Like, it was just all the time. We were together all the time. And when it's just you and your husband, you realize, like, it's just me and you.
Yeah.
It's just me and you.
We
so
can
we
do
got
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it made us stronger, our marriage stronger. You know, it really was, it was great. Yeah. It was great. It was.
On that note, Emily and I lived in Chicago for about a year. So we were at 10 years of marriage and probably right in the middle of that, called in the year 5 or 6. And it was in that time that it was probably one of our biggest growths as a marriage as well.
See?
I mean, we were away from family. It was just her and I with a couple of kids.
Yep.
And we have just such fond memories. Of course, some of the most challenging times
Absolutely.
I would say, of our life being away from everything we know
Absolutely.
and family.
Absolutely.
While at the same time, man.
Yeah, it really is. It really is good. It's good for a marriage to really have to rely on one another and no one outside.
Right.
You know, and then people become your family that you didn't expect. You know, those military wives that actually understood what I was going through. They become your family.
That is it.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. So you guys end up back in Prescott.
We do.
Around what year?
Well, Nick's enlistment ended, and we moved back around 13. No. We've been here, I think, 3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So around 17.
Okay.
Moved back, bought a home in Prescott.
Okay.
Just like quarter mile from downtown.
Okay.
Across the street from his grandparents.
Okay.
So, which, you know, you're back with family and the kids just adore. And I mean, so do we.
Of course.
But they, you know, want to go play the violin for them. Be my guest. You know, you want to go recite your poem.
Yep.
You need some help. Yeah. So, and it really fulfills them. And it's funny because I told them just the other day, Nick's grandmother walked in. And Trevor was on his iPad, and Madison was doing something preoccupied. And after Dixie left, I said, next time we put all of our electronics down. I said, when you go over there, they're not on their phone. They are just focused on you. And it's a lost thing in this time.
Could not agree more.
I said, how does it make you feel when she's looking straight in your eye and telling and not paying attention to anything else? She's not checking on this and she's not checking on that.
It's the best.
How does it, right?
Yeah.
I said, so when she walks in, you give her the same respect. And I just want my kids to know that there's a difference between this and, you know, this.
Exactly.
It's important for me. So we live across the street from. There's my little soapbox.
Yeah.
We live across the street from his grandparents, and we've been there for a couple years. Absolutely love the downtown area. I mean, this summer was kind of rough because we didn't have any of our fun concerts and that sort of thing. But we can just walk down. We can take the Granite Creek path, just right past Lazy G, right downtown. You know, come up El Gato and then go up to. It's just. I mean, it's so fun. Yeah, it's great. It's a great place to live.
Did Nick have a job when he between the time or when he finished the military to when he moved here?
So there was there was a transition period. There was a transition period. He did entertain the thought of staying in law enforcement. I think the tour to Afghanistan made him realize I don't want to have to worry about my life every single shift. And so that was a struggle. But he had put in all of this government time served. So, he decided to start work at the Social Security Administration.
Okay.
And we were able to buy back our military time served.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think his retirement, Matt, is like 49 or 50.
Yeah.
Where he can pull a pension from the government.
Yep.
So he's never had a desk job in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And I try my best to support what he wants to do. I know that a desk job is really hard, from going from law enforcement in the military, kicking down doors, to a desk job.
Yep.
But it's stability. The insurance is fantastic.
Absolutely.
And with somebody that has been sick in the past, I have to have it.
Very helpful.
Yes.
To say the least.
Yeah. And he has banker hours. So, like, he's off today. He's with the kids.
Yeah.
You know, Martin Luther King Day. Like, he's just here. So,
awesome.
Which is nice. Yeah.
Awesome.
And Saturdays and Sundays.
Hence why you're sitting here.
Hey.
Cool.
Yeah. Not worried about what's going on at home.
Gotcha. So that's what he does?
That's what he does.
Okay.
He works there. And, I mean, it pays the bills.
Absolutely.
And I think it's taught him a lot of patience.
That is the one fruit of
welcome
the
to my
spirit
world.
that I lack the most.
Right. And don't pray for it. Boy, then when you ask for it, he's going to test you.
Oh, patience. Oh, man.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
Well, let's dive into what you do.
Okay.
And there's a little backstory.
There's a little backstory.
And so you'll just weave it all together.
I am going to weave it together. So this is my favorite. This is honestly what I've been totally looking forward to sharing, because I have, for me, a really incredible why. And so we were in Uray at the hot springs, and my husband said, "What is that on your back?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? It's just a mole. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
It's like, "Yeah, it's kind of funky." And so I was like, "Just don't." Yeah. He said,
Yeah.
So then we got home, and it was doing some funky things. And so I said, "Okay, I'll go to a dermatologist." Well, the military doctors wouldn't touch me with a 10-foot pole. Literally, like, opened the door and closed it and said, "You need to be referred out." So we biopsied it. 2 days later, I was told that I have melanoma.
Okay.
Hence the reason we were able to get hardship orders back to Luke.
Okay.
Or to Luke.
Around 2014, 2015?
Yeah. No, this was 2013.
Okay.
So we were still in the military.
So you're 30 years old?
I was 29.
29. Okay.
I was 29. I was diagnosed in August.
All right.
The year I was 29, and then I turned 30 in December.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I got the diagnosis, you don't think at 29 you're going to get sick.
Of course not. I think that's why I wanted to get this in perspective, because the number is really important.
It really is. I think that in our minds we don't believe cancer can come until like later, right? Like when we're older, and and I thought 29. I was in so much shock. Like, I don't even remember the phone call after they said we referred to an oncologist.
Of course not.
And so Nick came home from work, and we have Trevor's a year. It was the scariest thing I've ever had to deal with. And Nick was extremely supportive. We're just going to take care of this. We're going to do whatever we have to do. I'm extremely thankful for the military because I had really great care. They dove right in. There was no waiting. So we went and we saw the oncologist, and he said, it's stage 3. We need to take care of this right now. So we did, we had surgery about 4 weeks later. They checked my lymph nodes. They took, they cleared the margins. They removed the tumor. And it comes back that I now have involvement in my lymph nodes. So now I'm stage 3A. And, you think, I have this young family. We can't physically fight, right? Like, our body has to do it on its own. And there's nothing, I can't pump iron and be like, I'm killing cancer. But I knew that I knew the Lord had something bigger. And if I can't find the silver lining in something so scary, there has to be something that I'm going to pull from this. And if I can beat this, I'm going to do something. So another surgery later, it was horrendous. I have never been in so much pain. And I've had babies. I didn't have an epidural, but whatever. And so, the military gave Nick an office job, so he was able to stay home. I think he stayed home like 3 weeks out of the month that I had surgery, taking care of the kids. I mean, I was helpless. I was in so much pain. The drains, it was horrendous. I caught myself kind of like walking funny because subconsciously you're protecting, this area that needs to be protected that tried to kill you. And so Nick was, I'm going to totally do this. He's going to be mad. He was one of the top 12 airmen of the year in 2012.
Okay.
And he made a phone call. He made a big phone call and said, I have to take my wife home. And so we went. They said, we don't have a spot at Luke, but we're going to make a spot.
Okay.
So he got us home. And I was referred to an amazing oncologist, Dr. Gordon, down in Scottsdale. And at that time, there wasn't a lot of medicine. There wasn't a lot of chemo treatments. They were all trials.
Okay.
And so the doctor said, look, T, I think it would be more detrimental to do the chemo trial. Right? So, and now it's come so far and, things. But he said, I just want you to come in every 3 months and I want you to get scans. I've had more CT scans in the last 7 years than anyone should ever have to go through. But it keeps, I'm 7 years NED it'll be this year. So I just hit my 6th. And it was his decision to say, hey, I don't want you to be sick and throwing up. You have a baby. Like, let's just really keep an eye out.
Okay.
Let's really, really watch it. So we did. And I've had like precancerous stuff here and there. But if you can detect it early, it's the key, Matt. You can live through melanoma if you catch it early. If I would have let it go, I would have died.
Right.
It metastasizes. And so I thought to myself, what am I going to bring? Like, I've now lived through this, okay? And Madison flew to see my parents, and we were in Colorado, and they were here. And she said, she tells the flight attendant, yeah, my mom has cancer, and I thought, gosh, they pick up on so much you don't even realize.
Right.
She's so aware. I remember passing out one day, and when I woke up, Nick was scrambling, and the baby was screaming, and I thought, oh my goodness, we have to get through this.
Yep.
But anyway, fast forward, it is 7 years because it was 13 to 20. 7 years NED, no evidence of disease.
All right.
And when we were at Luke, Phoenix is kind of hot, kind of dingy. And so I thought, I am pale as a ghost. I'm told, don't you even think about going in the sun, right? Even though I've never had a sunburn. I've never had a sunburn, and I was the one with stage 3 melanoma.
Yeah.
It was genetic.
Okay.
So
there you go.
So the University of Colorado calls and says, hey, can we like have your tumor?
Yeah.
I was like, shit, what am I going to do with it?
Yeah.
So, but they did. They let us know that it was genetic.
Okay.
So I'm really hypersensitive with the kids.
Yeah, naturally.
Like anything I see on them, I'm like, should I take a picture? Should we measure that? I've got this little scale. And so anyways, that's that. So
thank you for sharing all that. 7 years.
It's a big deal. It's a big thing.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it gets easier for you to share about it or just, anyways, thank you for sharing it.
Absolutely.
My goal or my desire would be that it helps at the very least.
Absolutely.
I would say me.
100%.
Aside from.
If you don't see a dermatologist, go and see one. Seriously. I think that we get caught up in our lives. If you are going to go see a general practitioner annually, you need to be seeing a dermatologist annually. Your skin needs to be looked at. It was on my back.
Right.
I don't get out of the shower and do.
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah.
So the oncologist said, your husband saved your life. Really. And fun fact, most women that are diagnosed with a skin cancer is diagnosed by their doctor. Men that are diagnosed are typically diagnosed by their spouse.
Okay. Makes sense.
So, anyways, we're at Luke. My husband's working. We're in Surprise, and I want to get my very first spray tan.
Okay.
So
because you're
there's
looking pale, you're just
looking pale. I need to wear them shorts, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And
you can't wear the
it was right? No, you can't. You can't even do a legging in Phoenix during the summer. So, I found this woman on Facebook.
Yeah.
She did them out of her home, and I sprayed. She sprayed me for about, well, I'd probably say a couple months.
Okay.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. And it made me feel comfortable in my own skin because my skin tried to kill me. You know what I mean? So here's this woman applying color to my skin. I'm naturally, pretty olive tone-ish. And so she says to me one day, she says, hey, I've got a lot of overflow. Do you want to help? Would you like to learn this? And I went home and I was like, oh my goodness, you should totally do this. You should do it. You should give it a shot. I thought, oh my goodness, but if I mess this up, like people are going to hate me, right? People are going to hate me. And I finally felt like I found something that I was like actually really good at.
Okay.
And when her clients started requesting me instead of her, I thought, oh my goodness, like I can do this.
I got something here.
So I worked with her for probably about 6 months.
Nice.
And then Nick's enlistment was over. So it was either stay in Surprise or come home and raise our kids in the Prescott community, you know? And I loved Surprise. And it's that kind of smaller town feel when it comes to like Phoenix.
A huge metropolitan area.
Right. But I just wanted my kids here. I really did.
Yep.
And so we came back and my husband was just like, Tesia, you got to do this. Start your own business. You got to do this. Like clients from Phoenix were asking me to come to Phoenix to still spray them. And I said, I don't know. Is Prescott going to want this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This is strange to me. I don't know if they're going, you know, because really our community is heavily on the retired side.
Right.
And so, you know, are they?
Yep.
And I have friends from high school that still, you know, were here. And I thought maybe if I should just like start spraying them and see what they think. And all of the sudden it was like, oh my word, I could make a living doing this.
Okay. And
I started at Amadora Salon in Prescott Valley. They let me rent this little area that they kind of made shift for me. And I was doing mobile. So I was going into people's homes and spraying them there, which is a total feat in itself because, you know, they don't have the lighting that you'd have at a salon or they don't have the area or the window that I can crack open. So during this process, I really wanted to like learn my craft. Education to me was key. The woman in Surprise was YouTube trained, which people love her tans.
Yeah.
She taught me, right? But I thought if I'm going to open a business, I want to know what I'm doing. Like I want that, I don't want to say it's about the certificate, but about I took the class. I've learned the science behind it.
You want what the certificate provides, which is the education, the knowledge, the comfort, the confidence.
Absolutely. And the confidence that it shows the client she knows what she's doing.
Yep.
You know, so when you call and you say this went wrong or that went wrong, I know exactly. I don't always know exactly, but I when someone comes to me and says, "Hey, it didn't develop as dark as I wanted my tan to," are you on any medications?
Yeah.
Are you, on an antibiotic? There are certain things that are you pregnant? There are certain things that can change the pH balance of your skin.
What a shocker.
Right?
Yeah.
So to me, it was so important that I knew what I was doing. And as I'm, getting more educated and the clientele is starting to build, I mean, word of mouth in this town is gold. So I
think it is the inroad to
absolutely
the greater Prescott area, which on a total side note is one reason I'm doing this.
Yep. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I could not agree more. Well, like I told you earlier, watching the previous podcasts, being a native, I even learned things.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, wait, I've never been there. I need to. So, anyways, I I saw this clientele starting to build, and the majority of my clients are from Prescott. And so I moved into Strata Salon, which I'm currently located in.
Okay.
I rent out a little back room. I don't need a lot of space. It's just the two of us. And so I'm able to get them in and out. I could get them in and out within 15, 20.
Okay.
It's a very quick process. But that 15, 20 is so impersonal. I block 30 because I really enjoy my clients.
Yeah.
Like when so-and-so will call or this client will call me or text me and I'm like, ooh, on Friday I get to see her.
Yep.
And we get to talk or, I've gotten like fun business points from some clients. Oh, I just got out of marketing school and this is what you should do. And I'm like, what?
Yep.
To me, serving this community has been, I don't want to say a shocker, but I really didn't think that there was such a place. And the silver lining, right, from having cancer to being able to own my own business, connect with the community, and to make women feel incredible because we struggle. I mean, I think we all kind of struggle, right? But as women, there's these expectations. And they come in and they're kind of like, especially, new clients, they'll come in and they're a little nervous.
Absolutely.
And if I can drop that wall in the first 30 seconds,
exactly,
then I have, your tan's going to be great. But I am helping with self-confidence. I've now gained a friend and I am going to help this person in any way that I can not go through what I went through.
Yep.
So if I can protect these people that I have come to honestly love.
Yeah, they've become friends.
They are. When you get this text from a client, hey, I hope Madison's show goes great tonight. You're like,
yeah, she was.
Yep.
It's the best.
So I think my key slogan would be making these women feel beautiful and men. Some of the wives will bring in their husbands, like if they're going, we don't really do cruises, but we've done them in the past.
Yes.
Where they've come in and they'll drag their husband in,
right.
You're getting this too. Men actually get, I think, more of a kick out of their tan line than women in general.
That's hilarious.
They love it. They love it.
Yeah.
So if I can protect these people that I love from going through what I went through.
Done deal.
Everything that we've been through, everything that we've got, it's 100% worth it.
Yep.
100% worth it. So.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I want to touch on a couple of things.
Sure.
The first one, you bring up the word community. And I'm fascinated as a business owner with the idea of how do other businesses, frankly, even corporations, how do they build a real sense of community as that is where, that's how you kindle the fire.
100%.
It is such an amazing thing when you can do that. And it's just about one of the best marketing, if you want to call it that, that you could ever do. And I think the idea of going from being able to spray someone in 20 minutes, but taking a 30-minute, it's a done deal. You give yourself time to get to know someone, for them to get to know you, and then it snowballs, and all of a sudden you probably don't have enough time in a day to.
There are certain clients, Matt, that I put at the end of the stack because I know that 30 minutes isn't going to be enough for us.
Yep.
It's just not going to be enough.
Yep.
Or, I've had clients come in and you can tell there's something not right. And so I'll ask, hey, how are you doing? And the tears start. And I was like, we'll just put this spray tan here.
Yep.
And we're going to go here.
Yep.
And sometimes the spray tan doesn't happen. Sometimes she's like, I just can't do this today. So then you go. I'm not going to charge you a fee. I'm not going to,
Exactly.
You guys have become my people.
Yeah, that's it.
And I think that to me it's not strategic. It is it's a passion that I have for these people that they're supporting me.
Yep.
And I want all of the good things for them. I mean, they're what keeps me open, that door open, that whether or not you pay me for a tan or we have a therapy session, I get to be around these amazing people.
Yeah. It'll come around. And it already has. It will continue to do that.
We are looking at right around 500 clients in the area.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So, I mean, not that I was like, counted, but I thought, oh my goodness, I wonder in the last, February will be 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. That I've been doing it.
Yep.
4 here.
Mm-hmm.
But doing it in general. Is it 4 or 3? And I just, it's awesome.
Man. What a unique story.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah,
It really
is.
It is.
That's what this table is all about.
Yes.
I love hearing the stories, and I know that other people will also.
If I can help one person.
That's it.
I took this course. It's called Eyes on Cancer, and it was meant for hairstylists to check the scalp.
Makes sense.
And I thought, I want to take this, and I want to put it up there. And I have had clients come in and be like, hey, do you see that spot? And I'm not a doctor.
Of course not.
But I can tell you, if it were on me, I would go get it checked.
Exactly.
And then I get the text 2 days later.
Yeah.
It was precancerous. Thank you so much for encouraging me.
Yep.
That's what it's about.
I know.
That's what it's about.
And that doesn't happen without that community, deep friendship side of things.
Yeah. Typically, you're not going to be a first-time client. Come in and I'm like, let me see how.
Right.
I don't see the body. I almost see it as a canvas, right? So that I can cover it all in wonderful tan. But when we're chit-chatting and I see something behind the ear, I'm not going to hesitate to say, hey.
Yeah.
Did this change? Or did you? Last time I saw you 3 weeks ago, it didn't look that dark or whatever. And she's like, what spot?
Exactly.
So, they're my friends.
That's what friends are for.
Yes.
It's just another set of eyes to help, to love, to encourage, to nudge.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
They're my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the salon?
So it is on 12th Place. It's up over off of Willow Creek Road. The Pep Boys area. There's a I think the OBGYN
just north of
Prescott
the Safeway, that whole shopping center.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yep. So I'm up there. Like I said, I don't need a ton of space.
You don't need it. It's
great. Right. So I can just stack all of my solutions out and just get, they come in, we get it done, they leave.
Yep.
Feeling amazing.
Yep. How many days a week do you work typically?
So I work Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay.
I'm off Sunday and Monday.
Okay.
And it's by appointment.
Yeah.
So I'm not there from like 9 in the morning until 8 o'clock at night.
When you have appointments.
Right.
Okay.
And Thursdays are always the busiest day because everyone's getting ready for the weekend.
That's funny.
So Thursdays, it's like I got to kind of block it off to make sure, that's typically not the day that I'm going to go volunteer at the school.
Gotcha.
Because I'm going to be at the slum. Sure.
How can people schedule with you?
So I have social media platforms. I've got Instagram and I have Facebook. We're working on a website. I never really felt the need to have one because I have free access to social media, right?
Oh,
and you can book all through there. Google, Yelp.
Where would they find you? What are under what?
So you can look up Beautiful You Spray Tanning in Prescott.
Okay.
Or,
and I will put up all this information just so that the people hear it.
Yes. And then like Instagram is spraytan_beautifulyou.
Okay.
But a lot of times, like when I get the Google reports, like so many people use spray tanning near me or in general, and then I'll pop up.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to find.
Okay.
And so,
all right.
I've lost my train of thought.
Do they, in order for someone to book an appointment, do you have an online system? Do you?
So you can.
What's the easiest way for people to connect?
Typically, you will message me, right? And I'm pretty good at responding. And then I will just ask you, like, hey, have you ever had a spray tan before? A lot of times, people don't realize there's prep involved. You don't want to get wet. You don't want to sweat. So you don't want to get a spray tan and then go work out at the gym.
Right.
They don't mix.
Yeah.
So I go over, like, just ask a couple simple questions. What is it for? If it's for an event, you're not going to want to spray tan the morning of.
Right.
If you're going on vacation, you want to get it
here's the expectations so that people
then your prep instructions and all of that gets sent, and we just kind of coincide schedules and go from there.
Okay.
I mean, it's only me.
Yeah.
It's only me. My mom does help on the side, which she can do anywhere, even from Maryland.
Okay.
She makes sure all of the prep instructions go out and all of that.
Gotcha.
So she helps on that end because there was time it got so busy that I started forgetting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only me. So I asked her. I said, "Hey, I don't pay her very well. I don't pay her at all."
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. But you know, I'm her kid, so she loves me. She loves me.
It's because she loves.
She loves me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess I lost my train of
Couple
thought.
more sections.
Yes.
As we wrap up.
Okay.
You were born and raised here.
Yes, sir.
Family's born and raised here. You're back. You've got kids here. I mean, you have roots that are growing deep. What is it about this area that continues to bring a smile to your face, to keep you here?
I know I say community a lot, Matt, but the people are incredible here. We really are. We look out for each other. We want what's best for each other. And I wanted that for my family, right? So the community is great.
Yep.
There's always something going. There's always something fun. Yes. You know, just recently there was the best of 2020. The Daily Courier did this thing, and I get this email that says you've been nominated.
Oh.
And I was like, this is awesome. I've never been nominated for anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, I honestly didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
And
one of your customers.
We won.
Yeah. Oh, no kidding.
We won.
Congratulations.
So that was so fun.
Yeah.
You know, but those are the people that you've spent this time with are like, oh my gosh, she needs to have this. You know, let's do this. Which just made my day. So the people here are just incredible. The weather is not shabby. The weather's not shabby.
The best.
Man, and I mean, it's a hard day at the salon because you can't get wet with a spray tan when it's rainy. And so I know we all love our rain. I used to love it. I'm not a fan of the rain anymore. At least not on spray tanning days.
Yeah.
But the weather's fantastic.
Well, we don't get much, so
we don't get much. We don't. But on the days that we have a lot of spray tans, those are the days.
Yeah.
Those are the days that we're going to get
What a shocker.
What a shocker. Murphy's Law.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think, you know, the weather, because we love to be outdoors.
Yes.
You know, it's definitely a good pull
to
the Prescott area. Yep.
It's a lot of the reasons we moved here.
See?
Community, weather. I would not have used the word community before moving here. I would have used small town. But now it's transitioned to, this is an actual community of people that you see at the grocery store and you say hi to and you wave as you're driving by. Yes. Yep. Which obviously a smaller town helps with that.
Absolutely.
But I don't imagine even all small towns have a sense of community like we do.
Well, and I think that when you own your own business or you are, I don't want to say entrepreneurial, but just having the podcast, right? Yep. You now have this sense of community. So when you see Joe from Campground or whatever, you're like, hey man, what's going on? Yep. How are you? So I'm like walking in the grocery store and I hear a client, hey T, and I turn around and hey. Yep. So this has created a community out of this small town.
Yep.
What we get to do.
That's it.
I love it.
And I love it.
I do too.
I love it. I thrive on it.
Same.
It's just wonderful.
It is.
Yeah.
It
just
really is.
we were at Spice Traveler. Emily and I had a date on Saturday. Just walking through Spice Traveler, looking around, see a lady Deb we know. Well, she was on the podcast. It's like, hey Deb, how you doing? And it's just it's great.
We were at Praline's yesterday.
Okay. I can't wait to get Diane on. I bet you and Diane would just.
I love her.
Well, she's a theater. She was a theater in background.
I mean, I love her.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah. She's great.
No, we get our coffee. I like to get the Firehouse coffee.
Absolutely.
Firehouse coffee.
Yep.
So we were in there last night and just.
I'm with you.
It's great.
It is just great. Such a unique place.
And it has a draw. I know it sounds silly, but even friends from high school, they'll all leave and they will all come back.
And then you come back.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like this draw to come back home.
I think it helps moving away, frankly.
Agreed.
Because you get the perspective.
Absolutely.
That you're like, oh, And I think a lot of people realize, wow, it was a nice place. Like,
Yeah.
I hated it when I was a teenager.
Exactly.
But
It's like, what
I
did
think
you do?
most teenagers I hated everything.
See?
And you just need some perspective in life.
I agree. Because, I mean, we were pretty, I mean, how many times can you cruise down, Gurley Street? Like, how many times can you cruise down?
Nah.
You can do it a lot. Dude, you can do it a lot.
Yeah, I bet you can.
How many times can you turn around behind Charlotte Hall? If you know, you know. If you know, you know. We did it. That was like what else did we do?
Right.
And so, I mean, I can see how, people could have gotten bored.
Of
but
course.
You're right. You leave and you come back and you're like, this is the place.
Yeah.
This is the place.
Yeah. That's so fun to hear.
Yeah, it is fun.
Man.
That's fun.
All right. Rapid fire question.
I'm ready.
I know you are.
I'm ready.
You already know all the answers.
I'm ready.
Question number 1. What's your favorite thing about Greater Prescott?
I probably have to say, the outdoors. I love downtown. Love downtown. That courthouse, there is something spectacular about that. Just walking around, with the lights for Christmas.
Yep.
Kids love it. We love it. It's not awfully cold, so you can just, we walked around it last night.
Mm-hmm.
So fun.
It's special.
Downtown is a special place to be.
What's your favorite restaurant in Greater Prescott?
Oh, boy. That is, okay. I have been thinking about this one. Taco Don's probably has my heart because they have an Indian fried bread. When I was pregnant with Madison, during our monthly visits, my husband would take me there after, and I would tackle that whole thing. The whole thing. The sour cream and the salsa and
Yep.
the pinto beans. And that place is amazing. But, I love all of our eccentric El Gatos and Biga. I love all of those restaurants, and they're great fun date nights.
They are.
Taco Don's is that, drive-through, get the best breakfast burrito type of deal. So Taco Don's probably has my heart.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's the number 1 thing on your Greater Prescott bucket list?
Oh, I think I would like to hike Mount Humphreys. Now, I know it's not in Prescott, right? It is out, but I have a couple friends that have done it and just say it's incredible. I love Thumb Butte,
Right.
Mingus. I did think we had mountains until we moved to Colorado, obviously.
Ooh, yeah.
But, I think that would do.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I think I'd like to at some point. I know it's really super windy and cold up there, but if I could get to the point where I could hike up that sucker, I would.
I want to encourage you to do that.
Yeah?
I have never done that, but that sounds awesome.
It just like when you look out and you say, "Oh, what mountains are those with the snow on?" And you're like,
Yep.
"Oh, those are the Humphreys."
Yep.
And then that's obviously my husband's mom's maiden name is Humphrey.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Match made in heaven.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know where to go with this one. I always ask people, what's your all-time favorite? But for you, spray tan doesn't work. So, what's your all-time? I don't know. Do you have any suggestions for that one?
My all-time. What was the question? If it weren't for spray tanning,
If it were for Tracy at Black Butterfly Artisan Chocolates, it would be Tracy. What's your favorite? Your
that's
all-time
right. You did ask for
favorite
that.
bonbon.
That's right. Okay.
So
My all-time favorite solution would be a rapid solution. So there's 2 types. One is worn for 8 to 12 hours, and one is worn for 4 or 5.
Okay.
Get that solution on me, get it off as soon as possible, go about my day, and be tan in 8 hours.
Okay.
Okay? So there's that, my favorite. I love newbie clients. They're my favorite. The OGs or all the time tanners, of course I love. But when they come in and they don't know what to expect, and then I always check on my clients the day after, newbie clients.
Yes.
First-time clients that come in, and they've never had a spray tan before, and they don't know what to expect, and you can tell they're a little.
Of course.
They're a little nervous. They don't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. So when I check on them the next day, hey, just checking in. Thank you so much for choosing me. It means a lot, and I want to make sure you're doing great.
Yep.
And I get this gif of the girl going like
of
this,
course.
or oh my gosh. My husband was so afraid I was going to be orange. I hate that word. It's a curse word in my life.
The O word.
The O word. We don't say the word orange. Even when they'll come in, they're like, "I'm not going to be orange, right?" And I was like, "We don't say that word. We don't say that here. My husband thought, or my boyfriend thought, or my
Right.
friends thought, or they thought I was going to be orange.
Mm-hmm.
And I look incredible. And I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
that's where it's at. That's, if I can make someone walk downtown and run into a friend,
Yep.
and they're like, you look really great.
Mm-hmm.
Why are your teeth so white? Or what? You're wearing a super cute outfit. You're typically in like yoga pants, which I live in yoga pants too. But if I can change the perception of what a spray tan was to what we can do now. You don't have to look like a bodybuilder. You don't have to be streaky. So when those first time clients come in and they are nervous about what they've seen in the past or what they've done in the past, or they've had a bad experience, if I can turn that around, that's my favorite.
Done deal.
My favorite. And when I get that text or I get that phone call, oh my goodness, I wore a bikini yesterday. And I'm like, dang girl, get it.
Right.
There is something about a little bit of color that gives us, it's like spray on confidence. And new clients that have been spray tanning for the last few years with me know, like,
They know the drill.
hey, a lot
That's why they keep coming back.
That's why they keep coming back. But I'm never going to make a client look unnatural. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really important fact that I want to kind of get across is you're never going to look unnatural. You're never going to look orange.
Yep.
I'm not going to allow it to happen because when you walk out of that salon, if someone asks you where they went and you say me and it's bad,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want, no.
Yep. Can't make that up.
So when you walk out of that salon and you feel incredible and you want to tell your friends, and then the friends that haven't seen you with a spray tan see you and they think you look amazing, there's nothing there. It's the best feeling. It makes me happy.
Yeah, it's like Diane over at Pralines of Prescott. People eating her chocolate, drinking their coffee, and just getting that satisfaction. Like it's the best.
It's like when you make a really good meal for somebody and they're like, it's so delicious. You're like, it makes you feel good.
It makes you feel beyond good.
Totally. So that is, just I when I was thinking of doing the podcast, I thought, what is the one thing I really, really, really want to get across? Like, obviously, spray tanning is you're protecting your skin from the sun. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying don't go in the sun. We've got beautiful weather 360 days a year, right? But, and even your dermatologist, a little bit of sun is good.
Of course.
It helps with our moods. It helps with, and so it's not, but I don't want to look 60 when I'm 40.
Correct.
Okay. So even if we take the skin cancer out of everything, okay, which, yes, that is my drive. But if we take the skin cancer out of it and we step into the beauty industry part of it, I'm going to protect your skin from aging. Mm-hmm. I'm going to protect from wrinkles, from sunspots. You're going to be all over one color, which is not typical for most people, right? Your legs are going to be whiter than your face. Yeah.
Naturally.
So if I can blend all of that and make it all one color, like it's a craft.
Yeah. And
I want people to realize that they're good now. They're good now.
I love it.
They have such a misconception of what a spray tan was, and it doesn't have to be that way anymore. Like, I got you. I got you.
Well said. What are 3 words to describe living in Greater Prescott?
Okay, let's see. I would say probably community. I say that a lot. Mm-hmm. I've been saying that a lot.
It's one of the most popular answers.
Really? Mm-hmm. Friendship. That's probably the same as community. Ish. Support. Yeah. Family. I think it just bases around community.
Yep.
This is just my home.
I love it. If you weren't a spray tan artist, then what would you be doing?
A teacher.
What kind? Or what age?
Elementary school.
Okay.
I didn't like school.
Yeah.
I didn't like I didn't want to pursue anything after high school. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, I can't. I'm just not. I'm not going to succeed. Mm-hmm. And I think failure's a hard thing for most people.
For most of us, yes.
And so I didn't want to try at something and then not succeed at it. So I would be a teacher. I love to sub at the kids' school.
Okay.
Trinity is in person as of now. So I was able to step in first grade, and I am telling you, Matt, it was so fun. I could be my goofy self.
Yes.
You know, I was like,
oh,
they love
perfect.
it. They love it. They love it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, when I'm taking the kids to school, if they see me, they'll like run up and hug me.
Yeah.
And
oh, that is the best.
My mom was a teacher, and so my best friend is a teacher. Teaching I don't think I could do any of the upper school, but elementary school would be like my jam.
Okay.
If I could do it, a different job I would. It'd be teaching.
All right. Mm-hmm. Last question. What's your favorite summer activity in Greater Prescott?
Oh my goodness. We do a lot of hiking. We have 2 dogs. So we do a lot of hiking, and the kids love it too.
Love it.
And they're like finding, smooth rocks and quartz rocks and all of the things. We've done kayaking a few times. I don't have a kayak, so we've, when you go down, they've got the rental there. So we've done that. That's a lot of fun. Even in the summer, you can get up early in the morning and enjoy the most beautiful part of the day. And I love Oak Creek. I love the Camp Verde area. Like, we'll go down there to the water. Yep. That's always a lot of fun. So,
I look forward to one day doing some podcasts, whether it's over in Sedona, up in Flagstaff.
Totally.
Just this idea that we, within an hour, and even 2, so many amazing places.
Oh, my goodness. We are
surrounded. Cow.
Well, the really cool thing, I think, about Arizona in general is, I know we're northern, right? But we've got like Lake Mary, we've got Flagstaff, where you want to go skiing, you go skiing.
Go hike Mount Humphreys.
Right. And then if we go, you can go south. You can be to Mexico. You can be, Tucson. You can go to the Botanical Gardens of Phoenix. Like all of the things, we have got such a great mesh of everything here.
I agree. I think we have kind of a jump. We live geographically in an area that I consider kind of a jump off location. Like you can make this your home base, and you can jump to some of the most amazing places in a couple hours.
Yeah, definitely.
Love it.
Same.
To wrap it up, look at the camera. Let everyone know where they can find you. I will also put up all your contact information.
Okay. Look at the camera.
Yep.
Look at that camera.
Let the people know.
Let the people know. So I am located here in Prescott at Strata Salon, inside Strata Salon, which is 931 12th Place.
All right.
And I do offer mobile tanning with parties of 4 or more. So
Makes sense.
I still will come to you, but really it's a lot easier to have the client come to me. The studio, we can do it every 30 minutes without the travel time. I'm on Facebook, Beautiful You Spray Tanning. I am on Instagram, spraytan_beautifulyou. My email, my phone number, everything's located on the bios.
I'll put it in the description.
And then I've got a link tree that's kind of, you can take quizzes on what tans are best for you, that sort of thing. All of that's located in the bio.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing it all together.
That's
one of my goals as, I guess, kind of the interviewer, is to connect the dots along the way so that the listeners can see how they come together.
Well, you did a great job.
It's fascinating.
Thank you.
And everyone's story has a fascinating nature to it on why they are doing what they do. Yep. And sometimes you kind of never saw it coming until then you connect some dots. I love when people sit across from me and they go, I didn't realize that led to this, that led to this. Right. And so it just, obviously some stories are just really simple. Sure. You knew what you wanted to do since you were little. Right. Whatever. Sure. But other people, it's not like that. No. And it's been definitely a journey. Yeah. And most people's stories they're just a journey of different life experiences. Yep. Getting different perspectives, living in different places, and all of a sudden they end up here doing this thing. And sure. It's really cool. No, I enjoy listening to the podcast because, like I said, I learn. Right. I didn't know about this or that. What was one thing that surprised
which one?
you?
Oh, I
or
was
just...
watching. I think it was the bird watching one.
Eric.
Yeah, and I was listening, and I was like, "Wait, I didn't know like we had those here. I didn't know. I didn't." And
Yep.
my husband and I, we live very close to Quartz Mountain.
Yep.
And so we love to take the dogs out there. And we were walking, and we stopped for just a second, and it was like 7 doe just come walking down. So, and then I look up, and there's like a woodpecker, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this place is incredible."
Yeah.
You know,
It
if
is.
you take a minute and just enjoy what's around
I
you.
know.
What we have to offer is just incredible.
That is a great way to end it. I hope you guys heard that.
I hope so too.
You said it great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for
sharing your story.
It's been fun.
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Let's wrap this up with a nice big smile at the camera.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you for watching. I'll put all her information below. Please reach out to her when you are interested in looking I won't even say the word, or the color.
Yeah, don't say that.
But you just want to look good.
You just want to look really
good. Let T know. She'll hook you up. Thank you guys very much for watching. T, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And
Thanks
have
for having
a great day.